Good evening, viewers of Voice of Canada. We welcome our viewers to our show, which is exclusively produced by Awaz TV Entertainment. And I'm your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. My co-host tonight is Cindy Young. We have a very dynamic guest, Harry Harji Dhaliwal, who is a well-known personality all over Southeast Asia as well as in Canada. He has got many, many feathers in his cap, so he doesn't need much introduction, but still, we would request our honored guest to briefly introduce himself so we can start our show formally.
Thank you, SPG. It's really wonderful to be on your show,
Pleasure.
Voice of Canada. And my name is Harry Dhaliwal, as you said, and I came here in '79 and went through regular hardship that everybody else goes and started working as a farm worker and a taxi driver.
I never knew these two trends of yours. You never told me that.
Then went back to school and became optician and ran my own business for 23 years. And during that, I felt a natural gratitude, genuine gratitude to give back to the society, became involved in charities and other service organizations and start fulfilling my civic duties. I ran as a member of parliament. And then, after sold my business and became a real estate broker, and then I was appointed as a citizenship judge. And then now, from last 7 years, I'm running my own little company, Ideal Capital Partners, which is basically a real estate consulting firm. And I'm here now with you. And
thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
And welcome to our show. And I am your co-host, Cindy Young, with our host, Asphandiar for our weekly talk show on Voice of Canada. And we warmly welcome you, Harry, to our show today. And you're a very well-known personality here in the DGHA, and we warmly welcome you to our show today.
Thank you.
And now I will pass it on to
Harry Ji. Inform our viewers in detail what your firm, Commercial Solution, does. What kind of functions and what kind of services you provide.
This is a small,
little detail,
This is a small boutique company dealing with the family and friends, and we basically take care of the whole capital stack of any real estate project, which involves senior debt, mezzanine debt, and the equity. So we take care of the whole thing, and then we have probably 85 to 100 investors, and we look at the project and see how we want to get involved in the project, and we just go in and then finish the project or whatever situation of the project is, and we just take care of that.
Thank you. Go ahead.
If you don't mind, when you immigrated to Canada, which political party did you join here to serve our communities? And if you could please explain your long association in our Canadian politics.
Yeah, as I said, I came to Canada in about 1979. And after going through a little period, and then when I started doing well I was on track professionally and everything else wise and family wise. Then natural gratitude, that we are so blessed in this land, and I should give back to the community. Then because I felt that I'm not a property of my family anymore, I'm a property of this nation. And then I started participating. And I, at that time, thought that very few people were involved in the right-wing party.
Especially the South Asians.
A conservative party. And then I actually, whenever I looked at the political spectrum, I always felt that I am associated with the more conservative party from values-wise and like everything else-wise. And I have grown emotionally and intellectually to understand the social aspect of that. I had no issue with the social issues. But mostly financial and other things. And then I'm the first guy who invited Preston Manning, the Reform Party head at that time. He was the leader of the opposition in Peel region. It was well covered in Toronto Star and Global Mail, everywhere else. So my involvement actually started with the Conservative Party, which is at that time was a Reform Party.
A Reform Party. And because the Conservative Party was merged in 2004. After the two mergers.
My main reason of getting involved in the Conservative Party was, or any sort of right side is, because I am more believer in empowering the individuals.
Individuals.
And the least government. I want the involvement of the government in my life, in my business, in my children's education as little as possible.
Definitely.
So those are a few things. And I want the government to be accountable to the money that we give them as a tax.
For sure.
So that actually put me in that area that where I was helping the Conservative Party.
Oh, very interesting.
Harryji, I recall that when you fought the elections last time, you were a sitting citizenship judge here in Ontario from Mississauga. And on the last spur, 30 days before the final D-Day, you stepped down to fight the elections. But that was rather very small time you got, whereas the other candidates took about 50 days, 40, 50 days to campaign and all. In 30 days, it was a very short period, but he took the risk and he fought the elections. So will you give some account on that election?
Particularly? I in my life, when I'm doing something, that I don't really worry about the risk involved. I'm mostly getting my strength from the process from the cause, from the principle that I am fighting on. So basically, when I was a judge, I never liked Bill C-24, where I thought that the party is putting people in a position who believe in that party. When they go to the public, they could never explain people that now this citizenship is not two kind. One can be cancelled. One cannot be cancelled. So I did not agree with that Bill C-24. Then it was very hard for me to work as a citizenship judge to defend that act when I was not able to. Although during my nomination, even during the election, I was able to defend Bill C-24 because of my party affiliation, but internally I was not happy with that. The reason I got involved at that time and left my judgeship was that I want to get involved in the party and then change it to the regular Citizenship Act. And actually now we are talking about this Citizenship Act, and this year is the 75th anniversary of the 1947 Citizenship Act.
Beautiful, awesome. Go ahead.
Nice. You've also taken an active part in Indian politics as well, and the well-being of India in your community. So if you could tell our viewers your connection with Indian politics as well.
Yeah, see, I felt that the values that which I have attained or I have acquired
from the land of origin,
from my family, number one, from my parents, from my social structure, and then from my religion. And then from the school, from my college, from my education, I'm basically a trained agriculture engineer from India. So I thought that I need to give something back to that country also. After having my life reasonably successful in this country, I thought it will be a good idea to go back and then give for 4 or 5 years of that. So when I turned 60, then I was in my mind very set that the next 3, 4, 5 years, I will do whatever I can do to help those people to create that kind of environment where they can realize their full potential proportional to their efforts.
We will be taking a short break and we'll be back soon with you. Thank you. Welcome back to our show, Voice of Canada, after a short break. We would like to once again welcome our honored guest, Harry Dhaliwal ji, who is with us, with my co-host, Cindy Young, and I'm your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We would also like to ask our host to kindly tell us about his first business in Canada, which was an optical retail outlet. And I hear from him in the past also, it was a very successful business. And he ran for several years. Then even, I think, opened some branches of it. So tell us about...
Yeah, I started an optical business in 1983 and I sold in 2006. So I kept that business for about 23 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
And it was a very successful business and we did a wonderful job and I gave a very good life. Actually, that business actually gave us a very good life. I was able to send my children to good school and all this stuff. But at the age of 50, 51, when I thought, okay, this now retail involvement is holding me back, I could contribute a little bit on the other side and on the sort of larger way. And I had a lot more to do. And then actually I sold my business to my staff, basically. And then I moved on, and then I became a real estate broker, started working with the Cushman and Wakefield for 3-4 years. And that's where I got my interest into the finance part of the real estate.
Been busy.
Yeah.
As you are a well-known community leader and have always expressed your strong views on major matters, what do you foresee with the current ruling governments, both federally and provincially, as well as here in Ontario after the pandemic is over?
Yeah, see, because of the pandemic, and I will say that the provincial government was very restricted to do exactly what they really wanted to do.
Definitely.
So it is very difficult to evaluate them completely on their agenda at that time when the agenda was completely destroyed, right?
Right.
So they were managing things to make sure the citizens of Ontario, they are in a good spirit and they are able to have food on their table and all the stuff, then the basic things.
Right.
So, but I think overall, if you look at the management of the pandemic and all the stuff, with the help of the people, with the help of the federal government,
correct.
and they did a pretty good job. And now this next whatever time, we will see how it goes, how they pick up their own agenda and move on now to the next level. And the economy is also now is going to be very difficult to handle, and the interest rates are going up. There are so many
There is the
things,
recession
so
too
many
coming.
rental, is going very high. They have to create more rental units, and there's so many things
There
in
is
the pot.
housing
And probably
issues,
next year or
gas,
so we'll
international
find out how
problems.
they handle all this now
There's a lot on their
in the
plate
plate.
now.
And as far as the federal government is concerned, and I think the Conservative Party is now probably on their back in the right posture.
True, very
And,
true. I would rather
from
say.
here onward, how they handle that, because Conservative Party has always one issue is that they do not go into the ethnic groups in a way that the Liberal Party was able to do it.
Right.
So normally what they happen is they, during the election and during the nomination, a lot of people get involved in all this stuff, but they're not able to keep those people along with them when they get the power and all this stuff. They don't feel involved after the fact. So that's an experience that probably I have in last 9.5 years. As soon as they got the majority, they really forgot their people who really actually helped the party to come to the point where they're able to get the majority. So I think they have to be very careful. We have a new leader. We have a lot of expectations from him, and I see him performing very, very well in the House. He's been actually performing in the House really well as compared to any other leader that we have seen in
the past, the two leaders,
the past few years. So now let us see how it translates, how his people around him are able to take that to the community and then help them to get involved and understand the leader, what that leader can do other than in the House.
Yes, Harry G, we have got high hope with our third leader who has been elected in 2 years' time.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, the other two leaders could not fare well and they had to step down for losing the elections.
See, it is important for the people who are around those leaders to get into the communities and get the message across. And message has to be given by the right people.
That's right.
They have to be able to pick right people in the communities so the message is understood properly.
Understood by the communities.
Absolutely. It's very important.
Harry G, inform our viewers of Voice of Canada about your lovely family. Your wife is a professional. She's also in a teaching business in a university. Both your children are also professionals. And I think one is even married.
Both of them are married.
Both of them are married. So tell us some views about your family, because you have been a family man, always been a family man.
I always say in a very simple, bucolic way that the family is your power grid.
Definitely.
Your power grid is the family. And all the power that whatever you are able to do outside of the community, it comes from the family. So if the family is happy, family is doing well, everything else. And I also believe, I am also actually want to give that to other people who want to get involved in politics and all this stuff. never do anything at the cost of the family.
Right.
You know, so when your
And
family
for
needs you,
anything.
you should be able to plug in and then do whatever you need to do as a family
And I
member.
see
So
you.
anyway, my wife is like one of the most successful Sikh women in Canada, as I will say professionally.
Professionally,
Yeah,
she's the
professionally,
principal of Humber College.
No, she was a senior executive vice president there.
At the Humber College,
At Humber
yeah.
College,
Amazing,
she has the largest portfolio
Oh,
in Humber College, and
very successful.
she has done very, very well. And she was the
Nice.
controller of the Peel Board of Education before that.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's a very highlight. Well-lighted woman.
And then my children, I have 2 children. My son is 36.
Wow.
And
Mashallah.
he's an MD, and he is also working in the real estate and finance with a company called Nix Capital. And my daughter, she is MBA also. She is a Master of Business of Art.
Oh, wow.
And she lives in LA, and she also got married last year. That was a COVID wedding.
Oh,
And very, very
yes.
interesting. And my son got
Been a lot
married
of
in
those.
2019, and they're both
Happily settled.
very-
And both are in United States.
Yeah, both. No.
No.
My daughter is in United States. My son is here.
Your son is here.
My son
Lovely.
is here. My wife
Awesome.
is now retired, but she's on.
But she's here very much with you.
She's on the board, some provincial board and one national board.
Lovely.
She is busy helping country and the province in different way.
And you're even managing 2 seniors too. Your mom and your mother's
my
mom.
mother is
Yes.
91. My mother-in-law is 93.
Yeah, he's a
I
very
have
domestic.
no
Wow,
brother and
that's
sister here.
amazing.
I'm all by myself, and my wife is also. Her both brothers are in USA, so we have basically enjoyed the basically benefits of the grandparents also here. And now we also have the responsibility to look
No,
after
you
them.
are a very loving,
And
caring man.
They are fantastic.
Whenever
and
we see the pictures, the family celebrating,
Yes.
sitting with the seniors, still respecting the moms.
Yeah, as I
know?
said, the
Absolutely.
family is the power grid.
Power
you know,
grid.
because
For sure.
it's not easy. You have to work hard because nothing comes easy in the
Nothing
life.
comes
And
easy.
most of the lessons that you
Yeah.
learn, they are in the pain.
Pain.
Yes.
In pleasure, you acquire
Yes.
all the bad habits.
Yes.
In the
Mm.
pain, you always
Definitely.
It's so true.
you learn some
Your
good
hard
lessons.
times, you
Yes.
learn the
Yeah.
lessons.
It's
So I
so
think
true.
this is always a good idea to
Yeah.
take care of your seniors, and that actually reflects on your children. And your
Absolutely.
family is a school where you are actually teaching the children also.
That's right. Absolutely.
They are making the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so just building on your beautiful family, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. We do see that you're a very caring and responsible man towards your mother, your spouse, your children. If you could tell us the secret on how you learned to be such a responsible man in your life, and the balances, and who balances that with your family, and your business.
It's a very joint effort. You know, it is very. I think joint effort. You have to. I just give you one example. That when my children were really young, my daughter was 7 and 10, and I thought, okay, now they can have a half decent conversation. I sat with them once and I told them, you know what, we are in this together, and we as a parent don't have any experience. You know, this is the first time we have become parents of 2 children, right?
Yeah.
And then
Awesome.
you are here, you are actually first time children.
Yeah.
So we will make a mistake, and you will make
We'll
a
do it
mistake.
together.
If we make mistake, then
Yeah.
you tell us, and we will apologize.
Yeah.
And if you do that, and we will tell you,
Yeah.
you do that. So I think if you are really want to strengthen your children, you need to be able to accept your, if you have done something wrong, an apology, then children will think, okay, if I do
Yeah.
something wrong, it is okay to
Apologize,
apologize,
yeah.
okay to
Right.
feel sorry,
Yeah.
and that makes their character like a
It's
stronger.
an amazing model.
So
for
to
them.
build the character and also communicate with the family in a true sense to with the
So
very
you have kept the
deeper-
old traditions.
deeper sense of care rather than
Mm.
playing politics internally in the
Absolutely.
and just be fair to everybody else. And also, we all need to go through health-wise and everything else. And whenever
Sure.
people need you in the family, you just be with them. So
Okay.
that is the
So
only thing.
that
I
proves-
have done
yeah.
nothing different than other people. But also, I think it is also God's blessing also.
Blessings
And,
also on you.
Sure.
we, I'm 100% sure everybody wants to have their family
Happy and well secured.
Close
happy and square and together, but it doesn't happen with everybody.
No,
You know, so
that's
there are so many situations. There's so many variables
many,
in the
yeah,
life. They're not in
yes.
your control.
That's right.
And so whenever you start feeling that everything is in my control, you are in trouble. You know?
Definitely.
So always, you know,
You have to give in
have
and
sort of a
listen to the
deeper
children
sense,
also nowadays.
deeper, genuine sense of gratitude
Yeah, I
that
was going
something
to say
else is playing your
gratitude,
game
yes.
here. You are
That's
not
right.
the be really player.
That's right. Yes.
So that proves that you have to be more friendly to your children, not just be a dominant parent.
Yeah.
But if you are like treat them like friends,
Mm.
they grow up very well with a
Yeah.
good foundation. And whenever
good models
if
for
they
them.
do anything wrong, even
Yeah.
they will come and commit and inform the parents.
Right.
This was the mistake I've committed. So these are the
Communication.
things. Communication is the biggest success
Yes,
in any family.
as I said, the family is the school. You know, so
Yes, it is.
they will learn from you. You know,
It is.
you can.
You're their models.
There is no switch
first
that
models
you
are
now.
the most
Okay, you can
important
keep
ones.
on doing the wrong thing, then all of a sudden your son is 25. You just turn this on. This is
No, it
now
doesn't
okay.
work that way.
It doesn't work
Yeah,
that way. It's
that's
a
right.
very different.
Harryji, what are your
Absolutely.
future plans in politics in Canada? Because we feel that we need an experienced person like you to steer our party in many ways. You have been in a capacity of advisor, and you have done even campaigns for our MPs in the past. Plus, you have an experience of a candidate too. So, do you have any immediate plans of helping our current federal government
You know,
if the need arises?
I don't have any plan per se. I am not even a member of the parties anymore because I thought at the age of 65 and afterward, I'm not going to be a member of any party. That really gives me a really freedom to speak out if there's anything wrong.
Your mind free to speak.
Inside the party. You know, again, it's really, if somebody wants my services and fair advice and honest advice and good advice, then you're always there because.
Right.
Why would I not do anything to make things better for Canada and the Canadians?
Definitely,
Because
we are Canadians.
I have also served as a judge, and which is the voice and the face of Canada.
Canada.
Yes,
To me, actually, the reason I owe my allegiance to this Canadian spirit is in such a deeper way. I remember when I received my Canadian citizenship in 1984, I sat in my car. I said, "Oh my God, you know, look what has happened." In a stroke of the pen, when I received the certificate, I have been given all what Canada could give me, right?
Yeah.
And I have the same right which other people have. Their family's been here for 250 years.
Absolutely.
You know?
True.
Right.
Now I will be not fair to Canada if I hold anything back, right? So if the Canada has not held anything back, and then why should I hold
it
back?
back.
So
Yeah.
we are always there.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm not pursuing anything, any elected offices, all things. So that actually makes me really, really free and able to express
Yeah.
myself
As a
whole,
Canadian.
And who you are.
as a Canadian. And then I think.
But still, if the party needs you, you are always there
this
to guide
thought,
them.
wherever it takes me, is fine. Actually, I'm actually also of the view now we should help people in all the parties, all the good peoples, you know,
Definitely.
in the
There's a
party
lot-
because
yeah.
we need NDP, we need Liberal, we need Conservative
That's
because what gives the gravity to my thought is when there's an opposition thought.
That's right.
When there's an opposing thought,
need to have
it
the
gives the
opposite.
leash and the gravity to my thought.
Mhm.
So, but we must
Absolutely.
be able to sit and talk about
And
things
stand united.
and then make things a little bit
Yes.
better for everybody else, rather than just me.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
anyway, politics is politics, but I wish that this country will take direction where everybody feels empowered.
Okay.
Welcome back to our show, Voice of Canada. After a short break, we would like to once again welcome our honored guest, Harry Dhaliwal ji, who is with us, with my co-host, Cindy Young.
What would you predict about the new opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, of our Federal Conservative Party of Canada? If he plays his cards, will he be able to win the national election and become our Prime Minister of Canada?
See, the answer lies in if he plays his cards
Not well.
That's
right.
the key.
So
It is too soon or too early.
It is too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon, and I honestly don't know who are the people behind him. and I have never spoken to anybody. I have never in contact with even the people who are dealing.
But he has
here
got a strong caucus.
in Peel.
He has formed a strong caucus.
Yeah, caucus is strong.
Very strong caucus.
They are behind him, and he is doing a good job. And but again, as you said, that if he plays his cards right and he picks up the right people in all those boroughs, in ethnic communities, because it is not easy to deal in Canada in politics, because so many religion, there's so many ethnic groups, and they have their own views, they have own feelings, their own emotionally vulnerability and sensitivity. And I hope that he understands everything. So he needs good people who can actually help him
steer the ship,
understand all this. And the Liberal Party always, or I will say any left party, makes things very difficult for Conservative Party at the time of election. They will only talk about the issues where the Conservative Party, the right side of the political spectrum, they will start questioning them. So when you question them, then they don't question back to you, they answer back to you, the party, they go to the people. You see, they are questioning it now. They are against immigrants, they're against this, against it. So they are basically playing the gallery, of their own voters. So the people who are involved around Poilier, they should understand that how to make that messages
very clear
in such a way that understood in the whole spectrum of the demographic.
Harry ji, my question is in continuation of the question just Cindy asked you. Do you think that our current leader of opposition, the royal opposition, Pierre Poilievre, being a polished person in politics, because he has seen politics from his very young age in our party, be able to defeat the present Liberal Party and Justin Trudeau?
Look, as far as experience is concerned, he has experience of. He was. I remember seeing him in conventions in '99 or 2000 or whatever.
He must be a young lad.
When he was 19 years old, he was the president of the riding in Calgary, which was probably the riding of Preston Manning. And I knew him at that time. He's a very vocal and policy-oriented guy, and very good in expressing himself, and very terse and succinct way. And he has all the skills to do that. But there's you have to understand who are the people behind, how the machine works. As far as the money is concerned, they have enough money. They don't have to worry too much about the money. They have to just worry about the constructing a team which actually represents proper people, like their team. Whenever Prime Minister, like a hopeful Prime Minister, they go anywhere when they are campaigning, when they are going in Brampton, they are going in Surrey, they are going in Danforth, they're going in
New Brunswick,
they should make people feel that we actually are connected with the whole spectrum, whole demographic.
That's right.
And they have to be very, very mindful of that. And Liberal has been very, very good in that. And they have created channels in all the ethnic groups, like all Polish, Indian, and Pakistani, and whatever.
All ethnic groups.
So they can actually communicate very efficiently. So they have established those channels. But conservative people, when they actually went into the majority, they actually stopped listening to everybody, right? So now after...
What was the reason they stopped listening?
I had no
Being
idea.
a right-wing government?
Normally it happens. No, it is not it is not the right wing or the left wing. It is naturally what happens was then when the people are in power, the people who are looking for something, they have their own agenda, they become very active around them. The people who are genuine, they are doing it from the heart. They don't want to hustle around and whatever. They think, you know what, if they need my help, they will call me. And why should I just make an effort to just go there? So I think they normally fail in that area. and they need to get people in their kitchen cabinet, basically,
Right.
not just around
No.
signing nominations and signing members and collecting money.
No,
So
that's not going
they
to do
should
it.
start treating people, I think, a little bit differently as that they are the part of the a central brain of the party.
Yeah, they have to be.
Harry, I would also like to ask you about our Royal Senate, the Red House, the Red Chamber, what we call, which is represented by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, but now King Charles III is managing. So what do you think? Is it a democratic body? Because senators are elected by just appointed by the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So you don't think that it should be more democratic? We should elect the MPPs, and the MPs should elect the senator of their area, like in some other countries is happening.
Yeah. So, see, this requires a constitutional change. Everybody talks about it, and people, when even Stephen Harper actually spoke about it, but he had his hand tied. He was not able to do whatever he really wanted to do. And the biggest mistake of his life was when he actually left probably 18 senator seats empty.
Empty,
Oh, right.
that was very unfortunate.
The senators are, you can have your, mostly, your own party people, and then senators don't have to come back and ask for the votes and nomination.
That is the final
the
final power.
They need to have active senators. Senators, people think they don't have any power, but they have a lot of
power, and it's a prized possession.
Because senator can talk about any issue in the world. The senator can talk any issue in Canada. So we need to have the Senate for sure, but that needs to be decided whether we want to have an elected senator and what kind of representation we need to have there. But this is basically, as they say, like a second sober thought. And it represents the area. It does not represent the demographic, the number of people. It just represents the area. We have 96 of them probably, 24 from each section.
There are total 105, no, senators?
105 probably.
With the other countries and... No, I mean the First Nation and all that stuff.
Then they have some, like a sports person or whatever. But otherwise, they are 96. 24 multiplied by 4. And they have divided Canada into like four areas. So that people who have more population, they cannot just hijack the agenda.
Right.
Harry, one more question. This week we saw the local bodies election in the province of Ontario. That also lots of people feel.
Local bodies.
Local bodies means a third tier of our council elections.
Okay, council
which is a corporation under the province. Many people still feel that people are coming, repeating 30 years, they don't leave their seats. So what do you think? That they should be on a party basis, and there should be a legislation from the premier that not more than 2-term councillor can rule,
I think
because it becomes too stagnant.
I feel that we have a good system that there's no party involved in this, because you don't want to bring that fight to the families, because when there's a party, there's a lot of other, because when you're the party, then basically there's a power from the center of the party. They have nothing to do with that community, and they can start playing their own politics. And we have seen in Brampton, now, say Brampton is an aftermath. The people who
now I hope the aftermath will be better.
People have their own agenda from different parties, NDP, Liberal, Conservative, Federal, Provincial. They came and helped those people, and they make them really...
they were fighting. But now after the result,
they have gone. And now they have to deal with whatever... because parties normally... when they become too aggressive, they damage the social fabric also.
That's right.
So people need to take it a little bit easier on that. They should have policies, I think, discussions, not a personality fights.
Right.
So normally that happens in that they start having personality fights. As far as the council is concerned, I think the reason actually we are not able to bring change that easily is because the voting is very low there. Only 30% people
Yes,
vote.
30 or even
And,
25 in some places.
That's
Oh,
that's a good point.
Because-
So you can imagine, out of 30, the counselor who's been counselor for 4 years or 10 years, whatever, he has a good contact with 1,000, 2,000 family. For him, it's so easy to bring
So
out
easy to
4,000, 5,000
Right.
votes. And it's very hard to beat to the new person. You don't have a support of the party.
Right.
So the people who need to come out, they're active
No,
in
I
the
understand
civil
that.
organization, I mean, a service organization, charities, and other thing. So those are people. So only changes happen when there's someone who resigns. You know.
Yes.
So in
then
our-
only.
In my ward number 11,
11, yeah.
we have
George
Brad,
Carlson and Brad Butt won.
So we have a Brad Butt.
Yeah, that was a good
he is
change.
one. Yeah.
And a
So,
similar in Ward 9 also, she retired.
yeah.
That's
I think
it.
the most important
Yes.
actually aspect of our life is our local life, right?
Yes,
The
right.
schools and stop signs and lights and
That's right.
And the police,
mailboxes and
even the
and
police
all
is
the stuff.
control,
Yeah.
police
And
and
that's
fire.
where actually our involvement is very least.
That's right.
And the reason for that is because in Canada, or especially in Peel, 55% people who are in Peel now, they are not born in Canada.
Canada,
Right.
correct.
So they are interested in
Immigrants, yeah.
getting the visa, getting the family over from other
That's where the
countries.
needs
So
are.
then they get
Yeah.
engaged with mostly MPs. You know?
Right.
So that's why you will
Right.
see that federal is like a more involvement of the ethnic groups and all this
Mhm.
stuff.
Yes.
At the provincial level is a little bit less.
Little lesser.
And at the council level, there's nothing involved
nothing
there.
involved.
Third tier is just managing the local affairs.
That's right.
Yes.
But still, do you think that the current councillors who are 30 years old, they go redundant? They have finished their working life, but still they don't want to leave the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there should be
See,
some policy, set
I
policy,
think
the new blood we
No,
need.
Policy is very easy. People need to feel that, okay, we need to have a change.
Mm-hmm.
And if people
then they
have
vote
that
for it.
strong feeling that we need to change it, and they can change it, right?
And they can change it.
Yeah, they can change it.
That
You
is
see,
true. That
That
is
is
true.
true.
If only 30%
That is
people
true.
vote, and out of 30%, you need only 15 people.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
So if the total voter, if they are 100, out of that 15 needs to
Yeah.
feel that they need to change.
Change.
And they
That's
can
right.
change it. But
Then
they
they
have to
can
really
change it.
work at it,
They have,
right?
that's right.
With
Yeah,
the low
so-
percentage, it's
Yeah, so
difficult
it's
to
basically
change.
They
it
can't
is the
change it if they
involvement
want
of the
to.
people which is not actually bringing the change. So we cannot blame the councillor on that,
No,
right?
that's right.
Because they're going to keep on doing because they're going to think, okay,
Yeah,
people
I'm
like
here.
me.
I'm
They
doing
are
it,
like him. They
me,
are
I get
getting all
voted
the
in.
wages and perks and everything,
Yeah.
and they are enjoying a luxurious life
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
cost of taxpayers. So
Yeah.
they don't want to step down.
Yeah.
They-
You see,
Yeah.
again, you have to understand,
So they look as a
constitutionally, they are
job.
not doing anything wrong. you
Hmm.
know.
Right. That's
And they
right.
are,
If
they are
have the
doing
right
a
to
job
run
for
again
4
and
years.
again,
Assuming
and
they're
they will
just
do
doing
it.
their job. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are renewing the 4-year contract of the job.
Yeah.
If you see
Or
in the
3
real
years
sense.
now.
Or 3 years.
Or 3 years. Yeah.
Okay,
which is
Yeah.
go ahead.
fine.
Thank you so much for all your insights. It was really interesting listening to you. If you could just give us some concluding remarks and your valued advice to us and our viewers of Voice of Canada.
Yeah, basically what I would like to say is that, this is a beautiful land of opportunities. And if we want to keep it the way that we found it when we came here, we need to understand that what we need to do. Rather than establishing a relationship with the people and the parties and all this stuff, try to establish that relationship with the spirit of the Canada. Go and enjoy the landscape of that. Go and see the lakes and mountains, and
We have got a beautiful
many
country.
beautiful
all those
things.
parks and all this stuff.
Definitely.
When you because if you are standing in front of any mountain or any tree, they don't know whether you are from China or India or
No.
from Pakistan, you
No.
know English, or you are
Right.
tall or small or whatever.
Right.
They will give you the same feeling, right?
Feeling.
Right.
So if you start feeling closer to the spirit of the Canada, then basically you start feeling that this is my country.
Yeah.
And then actually that will incorporate in your own work ethic,
Ways,
and
yeah.
your behavior with with this community. With this is my community, this is my people, this is my road,
Exactly.
it's my park. And
Yeah.
so that way, then when your behavior changes, and then basically nobody can dare to discriminate with you.
But what are the reasons that some communities still can't integrate into Canadian way of life? You have seen that also.
Yeah, there is always going to be certain, I think, percentage. But a majority of the people, we need
We are
people
integrating.
who are, and also see the people from ethnic groups, so-called professional, and then understanding the mainstream. They should not stop their involvement in their own community.
Community.
Because if you think that you have done well, the message from the mainstream to your own community will keep on flowing if you keep on becoming that a transitional sort of avenue.
Absolutely.
So that is very important to stay involved. And also I think the best thing here in Canada is that I am free to express my opinion. And even if I'm a pizza delivery or taxi driver or truck driver, I'm an executive and I have a lot of power. Nobody, no matter how powerful that person is, financially or bureaucracy-wise or politically or money-wise, they cannot interfere, they cannot cause any trouble and obstacle to my work.
That's right.
Right? If somebody tries to cause it, they will be in trouble. So that free space, we need to use that free space to express your opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
Rather than, because I think in Canada, especially in the council, it is not the problem who people who are involved in politics. The problem is people who are not involved. They are silent.
Right.
So when you are silent, you actually lose the right to complain about it.
That's right.
So the idea is to get involved and express your opinion whatever time you have. And
great advice.
So that is the expression of our Charter of Rights, which is given to each and every Canadian citizen. We are lucky to be in Canada and be Canadians. With that note, we would be concluding our this evening's interview with Harry Harjeet Dhaliwal. We thank him from the bottom of our hearts that he came to our show. And we talked in detail about so many aspects of his life, about Canada, and what are his future plans. So our viewers will definitely be able to understand how learned person our Harry Dhaliwal ji is. We thank you once again and hope you will be coming again next year with your views and ideas. Our doors are open for you. You can come anytime in our show, Voice of Canada. With that note, we'll be ending our interview of Voice of Canada this evening with my co-host Cindy Young, your host Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We'll be having a new guest next week with a new show. Goodbye. God bless Canada.